Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Siddharine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langaite Grim Yakrupatam Bhagwande Shri Varun Tikhakarine. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for joining today again. So today we'll see verse number 6 of chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge. Very interesting, very important verse. So let us chant the verse. Ajo api san avyayatma
अजोऽपि सन्नव्ययात्मा
tani ishvaropi san
भूतानाम् ईश्वरोऽपि सन्
prakrutim swam adhishtaya
प्रकृतिं स्वामधिष्ठाय
sambhavami atmamayaya.
सम्भवां यात्ममायया
Ajopi san avyayatma
अजोऽपि सन्नव्ययात्मा
bhutanam ishvaropi san
भूतानाम् ईश्वरोऽपि सन्
prakrutim swam adhishtaya
प्रकृतिं स्वामधिष्ठाय
sambhavami atmamayaya.
सम्भवां यात्ममायया.
Please chant.
अजोऽपि सन्नव्ययात्मा भूतानाम् ईश्वरोऽपि सन् प्रकृतिं स्वामधिष्ठाय सम्भवां यात्ममायया.
अजोऽपि सन् अव्ययात्मा भूतानाम् ईश्वरोऽपि सन् प्रकृतिं स्वम् अधिष्ठाय सम्भाव्यम् आत्ममायया.
Anyone else want to chant? Okay, so translation and purport. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. Purport. The Lord has spoken about the peculiarity of his birth. Although he may appear like an ordinary person, he remembers everything of his many past births, whereas a common man cannot remember what he has done even a few hours before. If someone is asked what he did exactly at the same time one day earlier, it would be very difficult for a common man to answer immediately. He would surely have to dredge in his memory to recall what he was doing exactly at the same time one day before. And yet, men often dare to claim to be God or Krishna. One should not be misled by such meaningless claims. Then again, the Lord explains his prakriti or his form. Prakriti means nature, as well as swarup or his own form. The Lord says that he appears in his own body. He does not change his body as the common living entity changes from one body to another. The conditioned soul may have one kind of body in present birth, but he has different body in the next birth. In the material world, the living entity has no fixed body but transmigrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. Whatever he appears, he does so in the same original body by his internal potency. In other words, Krishna appears in this material world in his original eternal form with two hands holding a flute. He appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by material world. Although he appears in the same transcendental body and is Lord of the universe, it still appears that he takes birth like an ordinary living entity. Although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, it still appears that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth. But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. At the time of Battle of Kurukshetra, he had many grandchildren at home, or in other words, he had sufficiently aged by material calculations. Still, he looked just like a young man, 20 or 25 years old. We never see a picture of Krishna in old age because he never grows old like us, although he's the oldest person in the whole creation, past, present, and future. Neither his body nor his intelligence ever deteriorates or changes. Therefore, it is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn eternal form of bliss and knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. Factually, his appearance and disappearance are like the sun's rising and moving before us and then disappearing from our eyesight. When the sun is out of sight, we think that the sun has set. And when the sun is before our eyes, we think that sun is on the horizon. Actually, the sun is always in its fixed position, but owing to our defective, insufficient senses, we'll calculate appearance and disappearance of the sun in the sky. And because Lord Krishna appears and disappears, Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are completely different from any ordinary common living entity, it is evident that his eternal blissful knowledge by his internal potency and he never contaminated by material nature. The Vedas also confirm that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unborn, yet he still appears to take his birth in multi manifestations. The Vedic supplementary literature also confirm that even though Lord appears to be taking birth, he is still without change of body. In Bhagavatam, he appears before his mother as Narayan with four hands and decorations of six kinds of full opulence. His appearance in his original eternal form is his causeless mercy bestowed upon the living entity so that they can concentrate on the Supreme Lord as he is, not on mental concoction or imagination, which is impersonally strongly think that Lord forms to be. The word Maya or Atma Maya refers to the Lord's causeless mercy according to Vishwakosha dictionary. The Lord is conscious of all his previous appearance and disappearance, but a common living entity forgets everything about his past body as soon as he gets another body. He is the Lord of all living entities because he performs wonderful and superhuman activities while he is on this earth. Therefore, the Lord is always same absolute truth and is without differentiation between his form and self or between his quality and body. A question may now be raised as to why Lord appears or disappears in this world. This is explained in the next verse. What a wonderful purport. So, Srila Prabhupada, the way Srila Prabhupada explains this verse is very wonderful and astonishing that how Srila Prabhupada made this verse easy to understand because the transcendental meaning or transcendental form of Krishna, how to explain to a common man is not easy. And Srila Prabhupada had a big challenge when he went to US to give this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and to explain it to the people who are not having any Shastri background or who are not accustomed to the Vedic literatures or language of Vedic literatures. To explain this is very difficult, but the success of Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is proves his success that he was able to explain the real meaning of these words. So here we see Krishna is explaining Arjuna about the transcendental knowledge, because with knowledge you can destroy the ignorance. So Krishna told that I gave this knowledge to Sun God. It's a When we say the transcendental knowledge, it should come from a transcendental personality. So Krishna is here explaining the transcendental nature of his appearance and disappearance and his body and how he appears in this world. So, if Krishna appears in this world, we should not think that Krishna appears like we take birth. The word used here is appear and disappear. Like the sun appears in the morning and disappears in the evening. But even if now it is night in Japan, maybe it's a day in US, right? So the sun is not visible here, but the sun is visible in US. So the sun is not, when we say set, it means it is disappeared from our vision, but it is visible to somebody else. Similarly, moon, right? So it comes and goes. It is not, when it disappears, does not mean it is finished. A simple way to understand is this avatar word is, maybe 10 years back it was difficult to explain to people of Western countries or other countries where the Shastric knowledge is not there, maybe 20, 25 years back. But now, because of this new age social media and games, like many games and the movies, this word avatar has become very famous. And now people understand, right? When you play a game, then the game says you choose your avatar, right? So then people, the kids playing, they choose different forms that they want to play that game. So that is one of the way. Okay, so but even if that kid chooses a form to play the game, the kid himself remains the same. He does not change. If some games are there where you can choose your real form, so you can put your real photos and then you choose your real form and you can play the game. So both way it is possible. So this concept has made it easier to understand that Krishna, though he appears in different forms, and the form, how the form is visible to at that particular time is by Atma Maya. So by his internal potency, he makes the form visible. So when we say Krishna is the cause of all causes, he has in his transcendental body all the forms. But which form will be visible, that is controlled by the internal potency. So because Krishna's body does not finish, is unborn, aja. So his body is eternal. Avyaya, never deteriorates, is the same, youthful. uh, and he comes by his prakriti or his own swarup. So the swarup of the God is Satchid Ananda, eternal form of knowledge, bliss. So he comes in that form. He does not change. Like if we die, we may take body. I may become male, female, or animal in the next life. That depends on my karma, that how I take the body. But Krishna is not of this material world, so he does not have that karma. Somebody may say, oh, Krishna also comes in different forms like boar or Narsinga. But that is the form required for that particular lila. So that at the end of devastation, when there is water everywhere and the Vedas are going inside, the only form that can save everything on that water of devastation is the fish form. So Krishna appears at Matsya Avatar. When the earth is going down in the sea, to take the earth from the sea or the mud, you require some form that can do that. So Krishna takes the form of boar, of Varaha. To kill Hiranyakashipu, he takes a form of Narsingadev. So that form visible becomes visible by internal potency for that particular pastime or that requirement. But Krishna, when he comes by his original form. So, like Krishna with Arjuna is the original form, because Devaki requested Krishna when he took birth in the prison. He was in four-arm form and jewels and everything. So they requested that you come in your original form that can be anticipated by everyone. So he comes in the two-hand form. So then he becomes like human, and then everybody can relate with him easily. So that's the nature of, that's the swabhav, the transcendental form of Lord. And Krishna, by his own mercy, comes with his original form and becomes visible to all of us. So I think this verse, it's much important. So it's already 9:50. If everybody don't mind, then tomorrow we can see this verse again, a little bit more details, because the purport is also big and the meaning in this verse is very sweet. If we understand this verse, it becomes very sweet to study Bhagavad Gita, and how lucky we are that we got in touch with this Bhagavad Gita. So if everybody is okay, tomorrow also we can see this verse again with more details.
Yeah, I am okay. Hare
That will be,
Krishna.
yeah, that will be so nice. And
Mm.
today it's so nice to listen to this purport. Yeah, I am also okay with that.
Okay, thank you. So
Hare Krishna, I'm also okay.
yeah, thank you very much. So let's do like this. Tomorrow we'll see these words again with to understand the sweetness of Krishna's appearance. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Take care.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.